Good evening, everybody. We're just going to see who. Hi, Doug. Hello, buddy. Good evening. Welcome into. Let's just say I can't sleep. So, well, if I can't sleep, I ain't gonna let anybody else sleep. Chill out night, and there ain't no way in the world I can sleep. So, boy, if I can't sleep, nobody's. John, hey, you need to come on and come hang out. I couldn't sleep, so if I ain't sleeping, nobody else is sleeping. You want to come on, Doug? I can send you the link. I can send you the link to you and John. We'll cause so much chaos tonight. It'll be worth it. Trust me. I'll be glad to cause some chaos tonight. Well, if you get back in time, John, we can send it to you. Be right. No, but if anybody wants to come in and just hang out, yeah, I know you got your show in the morning to do. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. I don't know if I'll go long, but uh, I just ain't able to sleep right now. So I just spent the last few hours trying, buried under paperwork and everything else, and I still got tons of paperwork to do. So I'm gonna go cause. Let's see what kind of havoc we can cause tonight. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Welcome in, buddy. Happy Friday. Well, yep. Happy Friday. It's still Friday on the East Coast, so and then Dad builds. There's a few of us. Anyways, yeah. So how's everybody doing? I hope this. I hope Pete's show was good. I'll have to go back and watch it. I know I didn't get to catch everything tonight, but oh, yeah, I'm still trying to. Oh, still trying to get everything together for the weekend. Uh, Plus, I got some paperwork done and all that, and still have 10 million things I have to do. So, got to blame somebody. Mama D ain't here. I can blame her. Yeah, that's it. Uh, so, hope everybody had a good Friday. I'm glad it's the weekend. Hope everybody's preparing for Easter. Hope you got all your chocolate bunnies, and if you do the chocolate bunnies and the eggs and all the good stuff. Hopefully, you all got that. But anyways, yeah, I'm not here to hang out too, not to cause too much trouble. But we'll see. Oh, oh. Okay. Why is it that when I come on to do something, all of a sudden I start getting tired? And there's Mama D. Hello there, Mama D. How are you feeling? I hope you're feeling better. And there's Jen. Hello, guys. Yeah, just and hello, Gloria. Gloria Thibodeau is welcoming. Good to see y'all. Good to see you. Yeah, we're just hanging out for a while, guys. I couldn't. I was trying to actually lay down and nap while watching the rest of Pete's show, but couldn't do it. So I said, screw it, and come on and see if we got to see if Mama D causes trouble again. We got to see if Mama D wants to try to sell some more of her moonshine. But great show, Doug and Molly, and great show to Pete. And not sure who that young lady was, but that I guess that was PH Disney. I think I've seen her thumbnails around. Don't know much about her. Yes, John Spaceship Ears will be back shortly. He had to run out and get some cat food. Kevin Theme Park Adventure, welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you. Mama Diaz on hiatus until August. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? I don't know. You was trying to sell it earlier. You just never know what kind of hashtag fake news. I don't know. Now wait a minute. I mean, we're just telling you what we was hearing. We was just telling you what we was hearing. And how's our beautiful Jen, otherwise Monorail Molly, doing? And of course, hope how's all our ladies doing tonight? Guys, us the guys are probably doing okay. They usually are. But we gotta make sure all you ladies are doing good. Ugh. Eh, I really wasn't planning on coming on, guys, but uh, my body's tired, but my brain says no, 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 no sleep. So I don't know what's going on. I just think so. We ain't gonna cause any havoc. Promise you that. So, hmm, let's see, what kind of havoc can we cause tonight? Hmm, we might have to turn something upside down. What can we turn upside down? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Got to turn something upside down. That's all I know. So I do got to admit, guys. Oh, I was able to get some things accomplished after we got done with the stream earlier. I was able to get some things accomplished, and at least on one side of the thing, eh, there will probably, I don't know, there may be a new, I may end up having a new link to the travel leaders profile page mods. So be on the lookout that for the in the mod link page. Um, uh, so, I don't know. So what's up with everybody tonight? Anybody got any good plans for Easter? Everything's about Epic Universe. Holy moly. Okay, that's the latest news. We want the latest Disney World news. Well, I will say this. Everybody knows what Michelin tires are, right? Well, everybody should be glad to know that Victoria and Albert's at Disney Grand Floridian has still got the award from Michelin tires. So that makes you wonder. Hmm. It is curious. Well, now I'm going to see what Disney Plus is doing. Let's see. We'll post their own Star Wars Rise of the Resistance POV Epic Universe rides will be open for early entry. Disney villains unfairly ever after original song. All this and more in today's daily recap for Thursday, September 17th. Well, I don't think today's September 17th. That was a couple of days ago. Or wait, maybe today is 17th. Yeah, no, today's the 18th. Ha 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 ha. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. It's always the 18th. Oh, yes. How is everything in Mexico, Kevin? Good question. Hope everything's good in Mexico. Ooh. So, yeah, we're probably gonna. I may end up doing about a half an hour or so just to chill out for the night. So I gotta recap. Did Pete's show get out of did Pete's show stay normal tonight, or did it get all crazy? It looked like there was a few good merchandise, but don't know. Like and then there's our good friend So Cargo. Hello, So Cargo. It was normal. Okay. Well, that's a good thing then. So, Davo. Mm, good to see you, So Cargo. Good evening. Which we know she's going to be down here in Disney fairly soon, and hope that I can get to catch up with her. Yeah, it's always good to see you. Hopefully, you don't have to work Easter, do you? Yes, happy Easter to everyone. Yep, 31 days. You just might need to. You might need to remind me though when it gets closer. So, Cargo, you need to remind me. That's good. At least you don't have to work on Sunday. I will be busy streaming from St. Augustine on Sunday. So hopefully y'all get to catch me in, or at least catch a little bit of St. Augustine on Sunday. That I'm looking forward to that, guys. I really am. Um, Trying to think of it. I still need to see how. I need to see how those other videos are doing. Oh, to St. Augustine. Oh, I love St. Augustine. It is such a it is such a beautiful city. I can't wait. How many in chat actually know about St. Augustine? Or how many have been to St. Augustine? It is very pretty there, Debbie. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I could if man, when we first moved down here, St. Augustine was one of the areas that I've always wanted. If I had my choice, we wouldn't have settled down where we were at. I would have tried to talk my parents into thing. Well, good. Well, you know what? It'll be a good time to be able to see what St. Augustine is because I plan on going around the plaza. You guys see the plaza, which is in the center of St. Augustine. Um, we'll walk down George Street. Probably walk around a few other streets. Um, I mean, we'll be there for a few hours. Been 10 years since you've been there, Debbie. Well, not, I can tell you this, Debbie, nothing has changed. Now, store businesses might have changed along around the plaza, but I can guarantee you everything else hasn't changed. I mean, you still got the Florida governor's eye. You still got Ripley's, believe it or not, down the way a little bit. Uh, you got, I mean, obviously, you still got the Castillo de San Marcos. I may, I don't know, I haven't decided. I may even try to drive out and do the Lookout Guard Tower that's over on A1A, just south. It is the park is just south of the aquarium that's just south of St. Augustine Beach, off of what A1A. Yeah, it's. I'm telling you, I agree. You know what? Here's the thing about it, Debbie. You know when it's the prettiest, when it's getting dark and the lights are on and the whole town is lit up with the lights. It's just, and then when you see the lights across the bay, it's absolutely gorgeous. Something about miraculous about that being in that area. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, is it so? I've actually done a Christmas tour on. I've actually done the Christmas tour on one of the trams that go around, because you got the green trolley and you got the red trains that go around, where you can take those around and get off at different points across around the St. Augustine to visit different things like the fort, the pirate museum, the old medical house, um, the barracks for soldiers. But yeah, you're right. I'll tell you, I actually like it when they do the boat parade during the. Debbie, have you ever seen the boat parade at St. Augustine during Christmas time? That absolutely is gorgeous. That is what you did with your friend Judy. Yeah, I'm telling it's an absolutely gorgeous place, and I think you guys will enjoy it, seeing it. Of course, at springtime, I may have to go back down there at Christmas time and show you guys during the Christmas time when it's thing. Oh, and I know I told some of you guys, but mods, those that want to help, uh, and I need to put it in the chat. You didn't have time to see the boat parade? Oh my lord, man, it's gorgeous when you see the boat parade. It actually is beautiful, especially at night, because some of the boats are decorated and they have their lights turned on. It just is absolutely gorgeous. Um, but to remind anybody that might not, any of the mods that are helping us with the Give the Kids the World thing, the final date is October 25th. Backup date is November 15th. So we are going to shoot for doing it. Okay, Debbie, that's fine. That's fine. Um, yeah, you can call me sometime next week in the evening time. But yeah, it is locked in. I'm now calling it for October 25th. And since we're on that, I'm going to do this. If you're looking to help You can email me at davegktw@yahoo.com. If you're looking to or if you're looking to maybe help donate this, it is worthwhile. The prizes are going to those that will be doing certain things for each hour, and then we will be doing one major oversized prize at the end, I think is what I discussed with the crew that are helping me. Um, and if you have any questions, please email me there, and I will get it to the people that want to help. Um, I don't know if there's anything else you need to know, so cargo, because I know you said you would love to help, but yeah, everything is going on October 25th. We're gonna start working. I'm gonna start working on as soon as I get beyond graduation for the school that I worked at, because I did have for you guys that might not have been here earlier, I do have a good opportunity for a better to work on making some more money to help us. Um, or actually to help me to help me to do a lot of things. Get that get some things paid off, get a new desktop for computer, um, try to get some new equipment for this channel. But yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. But so does anybody have any big plans for Sunday? I mean, are you going to hang out with family? You going to hang out with friends? You're going to do pretty much what I may do. Well, I mean, I'll be in St. Augustine. I would have actually pretty much been sitting around the pretty much would have been sitting around the house if I wasn't going to St. Augustine. That's why um, I had to cut one of the trips out because money was going to be a little tight this weekend. So I decided I'm going to hit St. Augustine this weekend for the travel thing. But both channels will be hosting the live stream. So who knows? Maybe we'll get to see some interesting Easter stuff down in Christian Sanchez. Welcome in. What is my favorite Disney movies? I'm gonna tell you, I have several. I love all the original Herbies. Um, I love all the original. I've got so many Christian. It would be hard to say because there's the Barefoot Executive, um, Candle Shoe. Um, you know, I don't know. It just you know, just so many that I like for Disney movies. I mean, obviously it's the movies that are coming out today. I'm actually not as curious to see half of them than I am everything else. So listen, Neil. Yeah, I heard about it, but then I heard they were canceling the movie, but they were going to maybe do a TV series on Disney Plus. Was the last rumor I heard on that, Christian. Neil, welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. It is pretty much a quiet night tonight. Um, Not causing a lot of havoc. Well, most of us are not causing havoc. I'm not sure about Mama D. She she's for some reason she's being a little bit quiet tonight. So I think she's plotting. I think our Mama D is plotting. So y'all might have to watch that. You might have to watch the chat there. Uh Honestly, I love Happily Ever After. My favorite fireworks show. If I really had to say, Christian, it would have been um, Happily Ever After. Now, but that's at Magic Kingdom. Now, it depends on which park you're asking about. Um, Honestly, Animal Kingdom don't have any fireworks, so you couldn't put that there. Um, uh, Hollywood Studios, I love Fantasmic, but then Epcot, I'm going all the way back to Illuminations, Reflection of Earth is one of my favorite shows. I just am not up on these new shows for Epcot. Um, but uh, Illuminations is probably the one I love the most. Not that there haven't been, they're oh, Harmonious. It was okay. Yeah, Luminous is fun, but uh, Illuminations, Reflection of Earth to me is still one of the best because of the music. There's just something about that. Yeah, I love something about the music from Illuminations, Neil, that I just absolutely love. Luminous is okay, but to be the honestly, the top one of all the fireworks out of the shows that I've seen, I would have to say Happily Ever. You did like? Oh, you like? Now, did you like the fireworks part of it, or did you love the music, Neil? Because I know you play trumpet. You play trumpet, so I mean, what? Yeah, yeah. See, that's why I love Illumination. It The music itself sometimes is what makes the show, at least for me. I mean, I love the show for Illuminations, but it was definitely the music that made it for me. Now, see, I wasn't big on Harmonious. Luminous is okay. But I don't know if there's not one that wouldn't agree that if you had to look at one out of all the fireworks shows, Happily Ever After to me is probably the best fireworks show out of all the Disney World parks. I mean, it had the music, it had the fireworks. Oh, well, yeah, and you know what? I appreciate that too, Neil. I mean, as to say whether it's better than, whether I like it better than some of the other stuff, I guess it would depend on what arrangement I'm listening to. But I agree with you. Some of the new arrangements that Disney has done has been good. I mean, you actually have to. Oh, the enchantment. I don't know if I've ever seen the enchantment. I don't. I Enchantment didn't last long. I don't know if I've ever saw the enchantment. Now, I mean, I've seen Happily Ever After when it was there, and then it left. Um, because I was getting the enchantment was. I think wasn't that the one that took over for Happily Ever After, and then it left, and then Happily Ever After returned. Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying I don't think I saw it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, I don't. I think when that took place, I think I was dealing with the death of my mom and my dad and all this other stuff over. I can't remember. It might not have been. I may not have just gotten there to see it. I'd have to go back and look at the dates of how long it played. Um, I have to look at the dates because I don't remember if I've ever saw enchantment. I want to think it came in at the time, just about the time my mom, or well, dad started getting sick, and then mom got sick, and yeah, that would okay. Yep, that would have been about the time mom got sick. Wouldn't that have been about 20? Wouldn't that have been about 2023 going into 2024? No, 2023, 2024, or was that 2022 going into 20? I don't remember because I lost mom in 2023 and dad in early 2024. So I'd have to look at the dates. I don't remember. Oh, do they? Nice. Nice. That is pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know if I ever had gotten a chance to see the enchantment. I want to think that they did that the year mom was sick and I was going all over the place to hospitals. Yeah, Doris. Hey, well, see now. Well, see now you can come on. I can send you the link and you can come on. It's been a quiet, peaceful night. No shenanigans. We're all good. Yeah, I'm not going much longer. I'm not going to go. I can guarantee you, I'm not going to go past 12. I'll probably end at about 12:15 to 12:30. So if you want to come on for about a half an hour, yeah, I can send you the link. Makes it more easier when I got someone to talk to. And we were talking. It's always good. Besides that, we have to talk about your show, buddy. You're coming. Just sent you the link. And I know I mentioned it earlier when I was on, and I'm going to mention it again, guys. Pete was right. Apparently, John, apparently, I think you shared it with Pete as well. I know you shared it with me. Yeah, I'm going to tell you this, guys. I saw what John was going to use in his shows, and all I'm going to say, if his show, if the work that he did on what I saw, if his shows are half as good as that, you guys are in for a treat. Make sure you guys catch it I know he's planning for the early May of getting his channel going. Believe me, you guys will. You're not. You guys will love what John got planned.
Mr. Dave, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Awesome.
you.
How's
Just giving you a praise on that thing that you
You're
were.
so kind.
I didn't. I mean, I'm not telling them. I don't want. At your request, I ain't telling them. All I'm going to say is that what I saw, if it is as good, if your show is as good as what you created, you are going to be killing it, buddy.
You're too kind.
You are going to be killing it.
Well, you know, I grew up in a Hollywood family, so opening credits are very important. So you have to get the opening credits right. It doesn't
tell
matter
me
what you
about
put in the middle. If
Oh, no. This is how important it is. Here's how important it is, especially on a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Because I took my music off the last 2 shows. Damn it, if I had not gotten hit. I didn't get hit. Every other show. So I've got to work with somebody that knows some good music I can put to something.
We'll talk offline. Jen gave me some good links. But anyway.
Because here's my thing. All my shows were getting copyright strikes. Yeah. I mean, nothing major. I mean, they weren't, it wasn't the worst one. It was just the copyrights.
Yeah.
That I was getting. But I took them off the last 2 days. Not a thing. Nada. My shows are good.
Go figure.
It's like if I was monetized, I'd be getting money off it. My other ones got copyright, so I'd be hit to a certain point.
Yeah, I hear you. But you know what's interesting to me? I'm a complete newbie and novice at all this, and as I go further into it, I'm gaining so much appreciation into all the work that you and Pete and everybody does just to put on a little show, even a show like this, where you're just hanging out with friends. It takes so much work.
A chill, easy night. I couldn't go to sleep. So, we were on earlier. And I just couldn't sleep. So I said, "Oh, the hell with it! I'm coming back on for a little while."
Well, I'm glad you do it, Dave. It's an important community. I'm honored to be a part of it.
It is.
Yeah, if I could bring an interesting angle to the conversation, I'm getting excited. I got my ring light. I ordered a ring light, so it's all becoming very real very quickly. So I'm like,
it does. I'm going to tell you, the first time. Here's the thing, John. When you hit that live button for the first time, it's for real. It's so real. I mean, you're going. Listen, and if you're used to speaking to people and speaking to public for a lot of times, you're still going to get nervous even off this, even though you're not directly looking at people's faces in the chat.
Yeah.
But it's still nervous wracking because you're talking to it and you're live. And unfortunately, anybody that's done IRLs for a long time knows anything can go wrong.
Sure.
And it can make it can make it or break it. Yeah. But again, I did some things this afternoon and I gained a couple more people over on my travel channel. So
that's great to hear.
So it's just a small one. I mean, like I said, this one, eventually I want to get to the point where I can monetize this channel.
Sure.
So, but obviously I had to restructure some things because I kept getting hit with copyrights. Damn it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's not Mama Jean's fault. She keeps causing trouble for me, and I have to leave. Oh, wait.
For me, I'm doing this as a labor of love. I'm not doing this to, get 2 billion watchers or whatever. I'm not even going to monetize.
I'm doing this because, one, I'm doing it as a friend, and I want to see you succeed.
Oh, you're so kind. I appreciate that. You're very kind. Again, we'll see what happens.
Listen, I know I got to meet you in December, but telling you, I look forward to the day that you get to come down and I can just come down there and hang out with you at the park and we'll just go have fun.
That'd be great.
We won't stream. Put it this way. I'm going to make the people in the chat jealous. We aren't going to stream.
We should bring a gimbal and stream, and then everybody can laugh at us. How about that?
That'll work too. And then if anything goes wrong, let's see, is Mama D in here? We'll blame Mama D.
There she is.
We'll just blame Mama D if something goes wrong.
That's okay.
Now I'm going to get a chewing out. Now I'm about to get a chewing out again. Here it comes. Now just play ding dee 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 dee
Ah,
dee dee
well,
dee dee. Yeah, I agree, Neil. I can't wait to see how he presents his information. And I don't know if he has shared. I don't know if he's allowed anybody to share what his first one is. But I'm
oh,
going
I
to
just
tell
sent that
you,
video to a few folks, including you and Pete and some other folks. That's it. But we'll see. We'll see.
but I can guarantee you it's going to come out good. And
You're
I
very kind.
know, again, I
I know
agree,
you're
Doug,
raising the
because
bar so high. I'm not going to be able to meet it. So give me some slack here. Kidding.
Black is, we'll all remember it's your first show
That's
and
right.
nothing goes right.
That's right. That's right.
I
And
am not
we've
trying to
set the
set a high
basis.
standard. I'm just saying, trust in yourself. And as good as your opening thing is, I guarantee you your shows will follow right behind it and you'll be okay.
You're so kind.
Uh-oh.
You're so
I
kind of you.
told you, there's my name. I told you it was coming.
Uh-oh.
I
See, you
told
got
you.
the
I
full
told
name
you. I
out.
told you.
Soon she'll be on here to wag her finger at you as you as we all deserve when we get that.
Listen, I'm just an angel.
That's
I'm
right.
just trying to
You got your
state
halo light.
facts.
Well, I just ordered my halo light, so now I could put my halo up, and we'll both be halos, and we'll both be angels
There you
together.
go.
Okay.
There
So
you go. There you go. Yeah. And you do, Neil. That's okay. That's why I need to get on. That's why I need to get you on here too and yap with you, Neil, because honestly, like I mean, I know you love your trumpet and you love your music. Uh-oh.
problem.
I am too an angel, Debbie. That you know it's the truth that I'm an angel. It's Mike and Richard that cause all the havoc. Of
It's
course, Neil. When don't we have a halo time in my streams? We always get to the halo sooner or later.
mm-hmm. One of these days, I should expect to see some horns up there, but for now, we'll go with the halo.
Don't give away my secret.
That's right. That's right.
Secret.
Neil is very kind. I've got to meet him in December. Very, very upstanding gentleman, amazing musician. It
Yeah,
was
I think
my honor to
I,
meet him.
I think I might have met Neil at back in December.
Mm-hmm.
I was too busy hugging Debbie, and I was getting the stuffings hugging out of me between Debbie and Molly.
It's hard to catch up with all those. It's wild. You get to meet and make such friendships online, but when you actually get to see people in real life, it's a completely
Yeah,
different.
I thought so. Yeah, I did get to meet Neil. Yes, by the
Yep.
boardwalk. Yep. And now whoever's going to be up there in Baltimore, we'll get to meet and actually sit and chat more up there in Baltimore. That is if Debbie don't keep threatening me and I have to keep running all over the place. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing to deserve it, but she just keeps pointing her finger at me, and I don't know why. I'm being innocent.
I think you should be more concerned if she's not pointing her finger at people. But yes, I
No, what
agree with
scares
Neil.
me, what scares me is if she'll be put a trash can on motorized wheels and it starts moving around. Then I might get scared.
We could bring a Roomba,
I'm,
or
I'm, I'm,
we could bring a
I,
robot vacuum.
I'll tell you, I'm really going to have to be careful in Baltimore, I think.
Why is that? Do I dare ask?
Yeah. Debbie, when don't I ever behave myself? I am the most behaved person in here. Okay, well, maybe not. I'll
It's your
think
show.
about
We'll go with it.
it.
I won't disagree with you on your show, Dave.
Hey, you can listen. Somebody's got to disagree with me. Mike would all the time. So hey, it ain't gonna change the. To me, I feel like you become a good friend, and you're allowed to disagree. If
No,
not,
I'm just teasing.
if everybody agreed on everything, every time we went on to different people's show, these shows would be boring as hell.
That's true. That's true. One of the things I'm angling to do is when we're going
Oh,
to start
I
teaching.
know she don't be. I know she don't behave. That's why she's Mama D, Moonshine Mama D.
Ah, what's the old saying? Disagreement is the spice of life, right? You've got to be
Exactly.
those conversations.
And that is true. That's why I love. That's why I love. That's why I love Mama D. She's got such a fiery spirit that we love her to death. We love her to death. You can't help but love Mama D. And the fact of it is, she's got
You keep
such.
this all in
And now
line.
this is now coming from the serious side. She has got such a big heart. She's probably got one of the biggest hearts. She's got one of the biggest hearts that I know in this
Mm-hmm.
community. I mean, and don't get me wrong, all our ladies have big hearts,
No, I
but
get it.
Mama D is such just. There's something about Mama D that goes up and beyond, doing more than what she should. And now I get to get on her that she needs to slow down and take care of herself. End of story. Now you're going to hear. Now you're going to hear the big thundering, big mountain Dave coming down.
Now you have to use her full name. No, but we love you, Mama D.
Now I got her silent. I love it.
Neil, that's too kind of you. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just a fan like anybody else. I'm no different than anybody else. I just have a few angles I think to share that I don't think have been.
You're welcome, Debbie.
So.
Well, no, and I agree with. But well, here's the thing, though. You not everybody has the background you come from.
True.
I mean, the people that Pete have talked to have special backgrounds attached to it, and your attachment goes all the way back to just about Walt.
Pretty close.
Yeah, and pretty close
lucky.
to it. So I mean, not everybody. I mean, even with me, like I said, the closest I got is that I had a step uncle who I really never got to meet, but I do know that he worked and helped build the Contemporary. But that's about as cool. That's about as much special I got attached to.
That's pretty darn special, Dave. Don't dismiss that. That's huge. So, and we all have connections. Everybody at the end of the day has opinions, and mine is no different than anyone else's.
Thank you, Neil. Exactly. He has the DNA. The rest of us don't have the DNA. He does.
It's what you bring to it. It's not where you come from. But yes, I am. I shouldn't dismiss that. I'm very, 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 very proud and honored to be the son and grandson of some amazing people, and not to mention all the other wonderful people in my family. So I'm very grateful and blessed.
Yes. And you should be, because like I said, there's a lot of things that I do that, hey, family is important. I love where I come from as far as my family, though I want to kill my older brother sometimes. But
hey, we all have families where we have issues.
Needless to say, that's that brother sibling. That's that brother sibling love. I love them, but sometimes I want to kill them.
Nah. Anyway, how was your week, Dave? Have you been able to see any of
my Lord of mercy.
That's
you know what? It's been up and down. I mean, obviously my shows were all good this week. And if you didn't get a chance to catch the Disney Treasure, obviously I hope I'm recommending you guys, for anybody that didn't go back and catch the cruise line show on Thursday with Jill and her husband Mike, please go back and check it out. It was pretty interesting. The pictures that they showed were just, and I'll tell you what, if you love food, there's the food. The only thing I wasn't, they just didn't get to show me the 24/7 pizza. That's the only thing I wasn't. That's the only thing that was down to me. I got to have my 24/7 pizza on my cruise ships. I'm sorry. I am a pizza 24/7 man on the cruise.
Nothing wrong with that. When you're on a cruise, you got to eat. That's
Exactly. Well,
one of the
it's
main
all about
attractions.
food when you're
Yeah.
listen. It's about relaxing and eating when you're on the cruise.
Yeah.
No rules. All rules are out the window.
Mhm. Yep.
Oh, he watched. Yeah, that
Great show,
was a
movie.
special show. I love watching the one man stream. I I'm just sorry that I probably won't get down there before. I don't even know if it's still there now or if it's still playing because I know they are changing it out. Um,
Well, he
I
said he
probably
saw it
won't get.
yesterday, so I assume it
Huh?
is.
Yeah, it must be. So if he saw it yesterday,
When I was down there with Pete and family, I was able to watch it with Pete, and that was a very special experience. I was
yeah,
very happy to do it with him.
I've actually gotten to see it a few times. So I
Mhm.
mean, it was a special show. It's been a while since I saw. I'd actually love to get down there and see before it goes out, but
Yeah,
I don't think I will because I think it's supposed to change. I think they're supposed to change it out sometime or do something with that building
I'm a little
sometime later
nervous
this
about
year.
I'm a little nervous, honestly, about the Disneyland version that's going to open soon, with the Walt animatronic. I have high hopes. I hope they pull it off. But that you're messing with some pretty special stuff once you put an animatronic of Walt Disney up there. So hopefully they do 'em.
They better do it right, or they're going to have some very upset people.
Yeah,
Very upset people.
yeah, and I'll be in line. No, no,
He
I'm
was,
very.
Neil. He was such an innovator.
Hmm. I have high hopes. I hope they nail it. It's so important to have that story of where the park comes from. I was just on the phone with Dad the other day, and we were talking about this. The stories about these attractions are disappearing by the day, and people no longer realize the vision that Walt had. When they go to these parks.
That
So having that
kind of
story
why
is beautiful.
that's kind of why I like the books that I got. Because I know I've got two that were written by David Munpower that
Oh yes,
talks
that
about
one.
some.
Yes, yes, yes. Uh-huh.
I've actually got
Uh-huh.
them on my Kindle.
Yeah.
I believe I do. Let's see, do I still have them on my
There are
Kindle?
several, well, not several. There are
There's
many
several
great books.
books that have been
Yeah.
written on it. It just happened to be that I got. I mean, I actually when I first started in the community, these
Mhm.
were some of the books that I got a few years ago. I mean, obviously, I've been around this community now for
Sure.
about 4 or 5 years because I discovered this community probably about 2019, 2020 is when I first discovered Tanya and Resort TV One and Corey and Tom Does Disney.
Dave, I have a question for you.
Bring it
Let's
on.
let's do some role playing. Let's assume it's 1966 and you've been to Disneyland, it's a big hit, so forth. Walt Disney's still alive. You hear on TV that he wants to go build a city of all things. What's your first reaction?
Well, being it's 1966, being that you're seeing technology grow,
Mhm.
part of me would think because of what he has pulled off, and people know he's pulled a lot off,
Yeah.
I would go on one side of me, I said, there's no way it would be pulled. But on the other side, I'd be saying, let's go. I would say like this because in ways like Walt, there's times I look at things and say, I don't know, I'm not sure we're going to be able to pull this off. But you know what? It can be pulled off. We
Yeah.
just got to find the right way to do it.
Yeah.
And Walt was that and kind of inventor. Like Neil said, there was something when you're looking at those shows and all that show him how innovator he was.
Oh, he was
He
amazing.
didn't do anything. He didn't do anything that was standard. He did things that were innovative, that was up and beyond it. And sometimes, and I'm going to tell you what, the, that's kind of like the way me and my coworker when we're working out in the yard. Sometimes we had to become very innovative on the way we get things done when you're finding people are standing in your way to get
Mhm.
things done.
That's right.
So
That's
and
right. It's
that's the
always
way I looked
important
at
just to
that's the way I look at Walt, and I would say let's do it. Let's find a way.
Yeah. I think I would mirror what you're saying if I put myself in those shoes. I think about that a lot. I
I
mean,
mean, would
yeah,
you find yourself saying that, okay, at first this is a crazy idea,
of course. I
but
mean,
knowing what, but then then you would stop and think for a second that look what he's pulled off.
yeah,
Okay, let's do it.
yeah,
We'll find a way of getting it done. I
yeah.
mean, if Roy, if
Walt built
Roy,
all of Disneyland in 1 year. Think of that, 1 year. And some of these attractions that we're talking about are taking 4 years to build. It's kind of crazy. Walt built the whole bloody park in 1 year.
yeah,
Crazy.
I do not know how he did it, but he did it. Let's see what we Walt wanted a place where, yeah, that's the other thing. Walt, here's the thing. Here's the other thing I was spoke. Again, I spent 7 years in the Navy. Walt wasn't a true, he was a true American. He believed in the red, white, and blue. He believed in the Constitution. He believed in America. That's why he supported everything in, what he did during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
He believed in the family.
Yep.
I mean, I'm going to tell you, I know people have our different beliefs, but I'm going to tell you from what my beliefs are. I believe the man loved the Lord. I believe he was even saved. Now, granted, he loved his alcohol. I don't think he was a big drinker. Well, I mean, let me
That's part of
rephrase.
Hollywood, though. You got to do that if you want to be successful in Hollywood.
But I don't think he drank a lot.
Yeah.
I think he did have his certain amount of alcohol, but we know he loved to smoke.
Yeah.
That's no big. Well, so did George Burns too, but
Everybody
look
did,
how long he lived till.
Yeah.
But so
sometimes I think, what if someone like a Steven Spielberg or whoever it is, Christopher Nolan, came out of nowhere and said, you know what? I'm done making movies. We're going to go build a city. And I'm like, what would people react about that?
Exactly.
That would be wild. So I can only think of what people in 1966 thought when they heard that.
Okay, yeah. See, here's one of them that I got. It was Disney Demystified. That was one of them that I believe that Dave Munpower.
Yeah.
There were, yeah. Okay, I did get both books. I did get both of the Demystified, Disney Demystified by David Munpower. Now, like you said, I know there's a lot of other books that I would love to get because there's more than just David Munpower that have wrote books. And I agree with you about the stories disappearing. That's why I love the Imagineering stories on Disney Plus. Because I go back and watch it all the times because it gives you the insight to what these people were thinking. And again, that goes back to that was your dad and your grandfather's time when this stuff was being created.
Yeah, they were building from nothing.
There.
They were trying to create these. Here's the situation. Walt had this crazy, brilliant idea of going to create a city. He tragically passed the same year he proposed that. Now, rumor has it I don't know if this is true, but rumor has it he had pages and pages and pages of ideas written down somewhere. So anyway, folks in WED, they were in a tailspin after Walt passed. They said, what the heck are we going to do here? Crazy man wanted to build a city. What are we going to do? So of course, they couldn't quite pivot and create a city as much as Walt would have liked to, but they tried to dig out the root of his ideas and his things that he wrote down and embed them in what we enjoy as Epcot today. So to see what they're doing today I understand what they're doing. It just breaks my heart a bit.
And I will give Neil brings up a good point here too. Here's the one thing they actually Disney did create a city. Okay. Celebration, which is right there on 192, that was Disney owned.
That's right.
Until they sold it. They did sell it several years ago. I do remember that.
Yeah.
But Celebration is still going there. So, Walt's vision to a point. Now it didn't have the full. It had the vision of the family and the tight community, which Celebration does have.
Hmm.
It just doesn't have the automatronics and it doesn't have all the major city things that he
Right.
truly envisioned.
Right. Well, Walt
But
envisioned Epcot as having a monorail from the airport straight to Epcot, and the whole city would be connected via people movers and the whole 9 yards. One wonders what could have happened if he had been able to live long enough to experiment a little bit more. So,
I wish they would go back to some. Dang it! I only got to see Communicore Hall once before it got shut down. I went through there once when I first moved down here, but that was
what
all
year
I
was
got a
that
chance.
roughly?
Huh?
What year was that roughly? Just out of curiosity.
Probably
Rough.
2007 to 2009, somewhere in
Okay,
there.
so that was probably when it was called
Communicore was
Innovation.
still there,
Sorry,
but I
Intervention.
didn't start. But see, back then I just bought day tickets. I didn't
Sure,
start buying the passes until like middle. Well, hell, I was in my 40s when I started buying passes. So,
sure. That was
so
probably when it
we're
was called.
talking 2015, and by then Communicore Hall was pretty much shut down.
Yeah, so it turned into something called Interventions for a number of years after the fact. Interventions was weird. They tried to carry forward what Communicore was all about, but they lost some of the connective tissue there. It turned into just a hodgepodge collection of weird exhibits. Communicore was so much more. Communicore was the touch point between what Spaceship
Yeah,
Earth was trying
kind
to
of like
communicate.
Starbucks. Kind of like Starbucks. All weird. No budget.
That's one way to put it. Again, I'll be
And I'm
kicking up
sure, Mike,
Seattle
I'm
if you
sure
hear you say
your ears are probably ringing, Mike. You can talk to me on Monday about it.
here come the Seattle cops. They're gonna no, no. It's funny around here. Every other corner is a Starbucks. It's crazy.
Again, Neil makes a good point. Again, right now, I feel like Disney's trying to keep up with Universal instead of doing something creative. In a way, I think they are trying to keep up with Universal. Well, here's the thing: you got enough crap going on that forget about keeping up with Universal. Add a fifth park. You add a fifth park, you're going to hit it out of the park, and you won't have to worry about it because Universal will still be chasing your darn tail.
Yeah,
Simple as to it.
yeah.
And nobody can tell me that they don't have the property to do it because we darn well know they do.
Of course they do. That's why Walt put all that land together. He wanted the blessing of
Exactly.
Congress. So, but I'm grateful for Epic. I'm grateful, although I have criticisms about Epic. I'm grateful that it's there to kick Disney in the butt. I want to see the competition increase. Everybody's best effort.
Well, I'm hoping that maybe with this multi-universe, maybe that Disney will frickin' wake up out of their brain cells and take their heads out of where
Yeah.
and start
Well,
thinking.
the thing is, they're making some changes that are going to be pretty darn permanent. Like taking out the river and digging out a whole bunch of stuff in Magic Kingdom. That's going to be hard to undo. So I really hope that they do it well, because if they don't do it well, it's going to be a blight that's going to sit there for 20 years.
Yeah, and again, you think about where Josh Tomorrow talked about at D23 last year on how
Mhm.
much money they're going to put into these parks over through. You're talking billions of dollars, and you already see it coming with all these new lands coming,
Yeah,
with a lot of these refurbishments that are going on.
yeah.
You know, so
I'm
I'm like,
optimistic too. Despite the fact that I'm critical at times, I'm very optimistic. I think there's something to the core of what Walt was trying to accomplish that is permanent and immutable. It'll never go away. Of course, it could get dull around the edges, but that's what we're here for. We have to shine it from time to time.
yeah, sometimes you got to have. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to miss. To me, okay, I agree with this America because honestly, I think of the Mississippi River. I think of Mark Twain. I think about everything that is about the history.
Hmm.
And to me, that is sad because I go back to the colonial days. I go back, hell, I love going back to Greenfield Village where you actually refurbish all the way back to the colonial days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shoot, let's see. I remember one time I was staying at Greenfield Village when I was a kid. We boy did we heckle the teacher. Teacher didn't play though. Teacher didn't play. She
Yeah.
did it like they would have done it back in those days, and
Yeah.
we fell down real quick. Trust me, they didn't. I mean, you. It was fun because you got the experience of the colonial. You know, these kids today they do not understand on how hard when people work to create this country, and then you look at the turn of the century where you had all the tycoons, and I'm talking Rockefeller, John D. Morgan, you know, Albert, you know, you had Thomas Edison,
Mm-hmm.
Henry Ford, you know, all these people that had an influence in this country. It took them hard work,
Yeah.
backbones. Yeah,
Yeah.
they now granted some of them played it off for the people, and but that was the time of era. I mean, that's just the way it was.
Right.
But that was the industrial revolution. But you think about it, if they didn't do it back, that stuff there, we wouldn't have what we have today within these theme parks. Walt
No.
would never saw that envision in that.
So I'm trying to be balanced here. Let's be real. Walt did say the parks will never be finished. They'll always be changing. The thing I'm concerned about, though, is that are we taking out the heart of the park and changing that? That's what I'm concerned about. I'm okay changing the rest of the body, but don't mess with the heart of the park.
Exactly.
You know
How
what I
you
mean?
can that exactly.
So we'll see. I have high hopes. Like I mentioned, it's a darn permanent change that they're making. So fingers crossed. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I just hope I fully agree with you, and obviously you're right, Neil. They were robin bearers, but those robin bearers is what set the pace for. If they hadn't created the industrial revolution, we wouldn't have a fraction of what we had today. None of it.
Hey,
But
Jordan,
then,
welcome to History 201. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, Jordan, welcome in, buddy. Well, welcome into history. We're going through history, U.S. history. So if you don't like U.S. history, just pile up the books, put your head on the books, and do what you did in high school and fall asleep.
No, no, no. I think our friend would be very sympathetic to this conversation. We were just talking about all the changes to Magic Kingdom and
Yeah, and
permanence of them, and hopefully they do the right thing.
yes,
Fingers crossed.
I agree.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sympathetic to the idea of changing things. I'm just worried about ripping out the heart of the park. That's all. And honestly, that's my primary criticism with Epic too. Epic, did you get a chance to see any of the videos that people have been streaming this week from Epic, Dave?
The what?
From Epic Universe. Have you seen any footage yet?
Uh, Only what I've seen on WDWNT.
Okay. Yeah, because almost every channel is streaming from Epic this week, which is great. I'm not criticizing.
And I'll probably take a look at. I'm sitting around here doing nothing tomorrow, anyways, except creating more stuff for the channel and putting some more short videos out. And,
So let me be clear about something. Once you enter that gate,
oh no! Oh, they're going to. Neil said they're going next week to.
nice. That's awesome. Let me be clear. Once you enter that gate and you're in one of those lands, 100% brilliant. You know, the detail and all the stuff that they do while you're inside that land is just brilliant. And it's hard to criticize.
If it's as good as it looks on the pictures,
Mm-hmm. It looks it.
Disney
I haven't
better
been there,
start.
obviously, but it
Disney
looks
better be a little worried.
mm-hmm. But the main concern and the main criticism I have of Epic is I don't see what connects these different lands together. Why is Harry Potter connected to Super Mario, and why is Monsters there? What's the connective tissue between all of them? That's the part I'm missing. Maybe they're just all epic. I don't know, but that seems
That's
a
about
little
it. They're epic. They come through Universal, and that's about it. They're not connected like somehow. You look at all the Disney parks, all the lands are connected somehow.
They're
Even
theme
even
parks,
in
Dave.
Animal Kingdom, you look at how they connected.
Mm-hmm.
You got Asia connected to, you got all those lands connected, and there's some connection there, but there is no connection in Epic Universe.
They're called theme parks, Dave. There should be a theme. There should be a theme
It
that
should
connects
be.
them all together. Now, granted, Magic Kingdom and Disneyland, you could probably make the argument that there's not much of a huge connection between Frontierland and Tomorrowland, for example, but I think there's more of a connective tissue there than there is in Epic.
Well, there's still some type of connection there. I mean, you'd probably have to. I agree. You'd probably have to look hard to see what the connection would be there. But yeah, this epic, Universal Epic, I just don't see there being any connection. I mean, I agree with you. How do you get Mario Land with this land, and how do you get that land with this land? I'm like, and first of all, how in the hell you got a whole world Harry World Potter in regular Universal, and now you're putting it in Epic. What the hell is that all about?
Oh, I know what that's about, but but I understand what you're saying. Have you seen the gates though? The gates are spectacular. The entrances to each land, they're wonderful. So
that's Epic Universe. Epic Universe.
Once you pass that gate into each land, chef's kiss. It's beautiful. I just wish that they had brought.
No, I have not seen. I have not seen anything about them, but it's just nuts. It's crazy. But I mean, but I hate to say it, unless has anybody. Now I'm going to tell you, I have not. I mean, of course, I've been so busy working. I've been exhausted this week. I mean, we have. Has anybody heard anything negative come out of Epic Universe? Now I know I haven't heard anything. Doesn't mean there's not, but I haven't heard anything.
I mean, we're in honeymoon phase. Let's be honest. Everybody's starry-eyed right now, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it'll just take time for some of the cracks to become apparent, if there are any. And yeah, I agree with you, Jordan. Although I will tweak what you said a little bit about the Cars Land coming in there. I don't know if you've been to Disneyland, or Dave, if you've been to Disneyland.
No, I have not. That's one of my to-do list things.
Once you're in Cars Land, it's gorgeous. It's just down to it just looks like you're in the movie, which is beautiful.
But see, that is one of the best things that they did out of Disneyland, because for all of us and who grew up anywhere from the 40s to the 80s, have that realistic. It brings back to a time of an era where it was about family, about travel, about open space, about that freedom.
Yeah.
And that's what Disney created in some of these lands, was to reach. And I think was it Neil? One of them put John between Neil and Jordan. They both were hitting it right on the head as far as about the smell sights. And Universal, I don't think has that, but Disney uses that nostalgia, bringing back kids. I mean, as adults, we look back and we look at something and we go, I remember that thing. It brings back the smell, the memory, when we were. Jordan said he had been to Disneyland 16 times, loves Radiator Springs. They don't need to gut the.
I agree 100%.
Wait, I agree with, and here's my problem. They're putting Cars Land. I hate to tell you, it makes no freaking sense because you got
Mhm.
what's left of Adventure or Frontierland on one side.
Yep.
You've got Liberty Square on this side.
Right.
You're going to have Villains Land on the back side
Big Thunder.
of that Big Thunder Mountain.
Hmm.
How in the hell is the connection? Somebody please tell me where you're getting the connection on all that.
I don't know who decided to do that. I think they could very, very well have expanded out.
Now, yes, I will say that. Now, the transition going into Galaxy's Edge, it is. I love the way they have done that at Walt Disney World. Um, they do care about the transitions. So the transition, I will say, now maybe they'll pull it off. Maybe they'll do something that none of us were expecting to pull off the transition into these worlds. Like you said, we got that hope, John.
You got the hope, but I don't know
You
how
got
you
the
pull.
hope, but you just don't know. But the one thing that you do is you actually feel like the one thing that I will give them about Galaxy's Edge is when you're walking, and I don't care if you're coming from Toy Story Land or whether you're coming from what would have been what's left of Hollywood,
Yeah.
the original Hollywood
Yeah.
studios by the Muppets and all
Muppet
that.
version.
When you
Yeah.
are actually going through those tunnels, you actually feel like you're being transported
Yeah.
into a whole different world.
Yeah.
So Disney does care about its transitions, but
Yeah.
I just am not sure about what's going on with Magic Kingdom. There's the issues there.
I don't know how they're Haunted Mansion in Florida is so darn close to that river. I don't know how they're going to transition from Haunted Mansion into Cars Land, but we'll see. They may pull it
Yep,
off. I'm not sure.
and I agree. Hey, I'm going to be back 1 second, guys. 1 second.
Okay, everybody, what should we say? Well, Dave's not here. No. Let me call out one other thing.
My battery's dying on my
Oh, that was too
phone. I
quick.
can't let it die.
I was going to have some shenanigans, but you were gone too short.
Oh, thank goodness for that. I'm glad I didn't. Well, pull off your shenanigans. I don't care.
Yeah,
It's
that's right.
shenanigan
That's right.
noise. Go for it. Pull
There's
some
one other.
shenanigans.
Someone I think mentioned, hey, Universal doesn't do the transitions and storytelling and whatnot. You have to keep in mind the history too. Universal didn't start out as a theme park per se. Universal started out, hey, spend 5 cents and we'll show you how movies are made. It kind of turned into a theme park over the years, whereas Disneyland was very designed intentionally from the beginning to have that as part of its
Yeah.
DNA.
And here's the thing, because that is true. But now we know Disney was. But now look at what they've done. How in the hell do you get a bayou in the middle of Frontierland, which there is no damn bayou in the frontier? You have to go over Adventureland. I could see because you can push Adventureland down to the Mississippi into Louisiana and Alabama. But damn it, how in the hell do you get a bayou in the middle of a western part, country part, and who in the hell knows what's going to happen when they open Villains Land?
Mm-hmm.
That don't make sense.
Yep.
Makes no sense of where they put Tiana's Bayou.
And I totally agree with Jordan, what he just wrote there. Makes total sense.
That I think that is that one and Guardians. Now I'm going to say that I agree. Okay, when they did Tron, I agree with what they did with Tron. Tron is the futuristic thing. Now, do they still need some upgrades to Tomorrowland at MK? Yeah, they do. But I agree with where they put Tron.
Yeah.
I mean, because that is futuristic.
They didn't put it next to the bayou.
Oh, hell no, they didn't think that. If they did that, then I'd really be saying Disney would have really lost their freaking minds. But what Jordan, I do agree with what Jordan says. I mean, putting the new lights on the Spaceship Earth and the Guardians were two of the best things that they've done since COVID.
Now I have personally have very mixed feeling, not mixed feelings. That's not the right phrase. I have emotions about Guardians because I was very connected to the previous Energy Pavilion, so I miss it. That said, I realize people went there to go take a nap. I get it. It makes sense. So replacing it with something a little bit more exciting, I understand why they did it. My big concern with Guardians is that I don't see any connection between it and what Epcot is all about. It's a fantastic ride. Don't get me wrong. The
Right.
fact
But
that they built
there
a
is some truth
Omnimover
to
on top of a roller coaster is phenomenal.
and I can go with that because there is some truth to that. Now, you think about it.
I think Guardians would have been A+ Chef's Kiss had they put it in Hollywood, for example. You know,
Well, I
I'm just
can't
not
even
sure where
share.
it's going.
Here's my problem, and I couldn't even see where in the hell you would put it in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, but my point is, and I understand it, I get it. Future World was getting long in the tooth. Some of the pavilions were showing their age, although I would still bring back Imagination as is from the very beginning. I'll die on that hill, but yeah, I just wish that we didn't throw out the baby with the bathwater. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's some of those, man. Some of those rides closed long before I even got to go, which disappoints me because everybody I've heard to, like the University Energy
Yeah,
or Horizons, you know, some of those rides that, and I've seen videos of some of those rides, and I swear I'm like, I never got. They all closed before I could even get down to Epcot to do that. I
yeah.
mean, Epcot opened in '82. It was what 2000 something when I first visited Epcot. So I'm like, half of them were already freaking closed and gone.
Well, you know, Energy was unique for many reasons, which I'll go into later. But when that curtain rose and you started going into that scene with all the dinosaurs, that was something special. And you got to smell and feel, and or not feel, but see all that stuff going on. That was pretty darn cool. Oh, you're talking about the big golden dome. Yes, that used to be called the Wonders of Life Pavilion. That's a whole other night. We'll have to talk about that one, but that's an interesting story. But yeah, that big gold dome is just sitting there, nothing being used at all with it. Do you remember the Wonders of Life Pavilion, Dave? The big golden dome behind Guardians.
No, it actually closed again before I got down there. But I
Got it.
remember hearing, I do know people have talked about it. So I mean, I'm aware of it from people talking about it. But
Yeah, they had basically it was Epcot's pavilion about biology, for lack of a better phrase. And it was all about the human body. It was all about life. Blah blah blah. They even had an exhibit there about human procreation, if you believe it or not. And it was very tastefully done. You could go online and see the video of it. It was called "The Making of Me," I think. But they had all kinds of interesting exhibits in there. One of them was called Body Wars. I don't know if you heard about it. Body
I've
Wars.
heard of Body Wars.
Yeah, Body Wars was basically they took the Star Tours technology, but instead of going out into space, they shrunk you down and put you through the human body. Um, and it was one of these, A+ conceptual ideas. Maybe in practice, maybe it had some rough edges, and it may have caused a few people to throw up. But from a conceptual point of view, it was great.
Well, here's the thing. He at Jordan said he was a Food Rocks kid. That was the best show. They're talking about what, yeah, and I agree because everybody I talked about, it was all about. I mean, half of the earlier stuff that was there, it all was about science in that front part of,
Yep.
which makes sense because Mission Space would have fit all into that stuff. Now you're getting everything around it,
Yeah,
and
it's
it
kind of
doesn't
odd
fit
now.
anymore.
Yeah, it's
Mission
odd
Space
duck.
does not. It just doesn't fit there with what they're doing to Epcot anymore.
Yeah,
Hell,
well said.
I'm not sure Epcot fits into Epcot anymore because you got everything. You got Moana, and you got the Moana garden. And don't get me wrong, I think they did it. Now they did a hell of a job on it. I love that Moana garden through there. It's a peaceful thing to walk through there. And then I love the way the magic bands interact with it. And it was done, and it's gorgeous.
It should have been in Animal Kingdom, Dave. There's no reason to put that bloody thing in Epcot. It's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you. But what in the heck?
I'm not saying it belongs. I'm just saying
I agree with you. It's well done. Yeah.
Well done. But I mean, you look at it, and we're waiting to see what the hell they do with Test Track. You know, and then
high hopes for. I hope that they do well with that one.
Well, somebody said they put it out, and I had to see it. Somebody said they put out what the ride vehicles were going to look like, but I haven't seen it.
I saw a video of that the other day.
I have not. I'll have to look on YouTube and see if I can find it.
They look slick. I don't know if I noticed anything structurally different, but they have a new wrap. You know, it looks all fresh and sparkly. So high hopes. We'll see what they pull off.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I hope they never touch the living seas.
Yeah.
And I hope they never touch the living land either. Right. Because that stuff will not go away. You're always going to now.
Well, 3.
Does parts of it need a little bit of upgrade and a little bit of loving? Yeah, I can see that. But the thing of it is, you will always have the aquariums, and you always need that stuff. You know, you're always going to have farming and how to, the hydroponics and all that. That stuff is never going to go away. That stuff, I don't know if you'll ever see that changing those things. Maybe upgrading, yes, but not go away.
Yeah, we're lucky. We still have 3 of the original.
Unfortunately, Neil, I was never able to see. Now, are you talking about before they upgraded it to was there a different version before they upgraded it to
Nemo?
With Nemo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see. I was able to see it long. I did see what was there. So if there was another version before the 2000s, I wouldn't know. But I saw they didn't put Nemo in until well after 2015, 2016. So I did see what it looked like before. I did see the what Living of the Seas looked like before Nemo. Yeah.
Now Neil's referring to an interesting mechanic. They brought you into these things that look like elevators. They called them hydrolators.
Okay.
And the story was, okay, we're going to send you all the way down to the bottom of the sea. And you step in the elevator and it shakes and
hello, Molly. Hello, Jen.
There she is. Hello.
Again. She's back. Yes, we're still on.
But the interesting thing about the hydrolators is that they gave you the impression that you're really going somewhere and you're taking a trip. Granted, it was cheesy, but it was fine because it was a transition that's important. We talked about transitions earlier with the Galaxy's Edge. The transition really makes a difference. So when you have the hydrolator there transporting you to the bottom of the ocean, that tells a story. Now you just walk into the darn thing, and that's fine. But you've lost a lot of the inherent storytelling to that process.
Yeah, you really have on some of that.
Oh, Jordan invoked Horizons. Okay, he played the big Uno card. Everybody loves Horizons. Myself.
Yeah, and again, Horizons is one of those that got changed long before I got to come to Epcot. I mean, so by the time I got to Epcot, you have what Figment is. When I first saw Epcot, Figment is what it is today. Now I didn't get to ride the original German thing, but I actually didn't ride the German thing until after it got changed to Frozen.
Yeah, it was called Maelstrom before. And,
and that was still there. I just never got to get to it before Frozen took over it. Of course, I got, obviously the 3 Caballero. I don't know what it was before because somebody said there was something that was there before the 3 Caballeros. So I only remember the 3 Caballeros as far as back in the, Future World.
Well, much like Norway, Mexico, that attraction was just a, I'm going to use the word generic, but it was basically a generic ride through Mexican history, which is fine. That was the intent. It was called El Rio del Tiempo, I
Well,
believe.
good evening, Pete. Oh, the
There he
Godfather is
is.
in here. Hey, Pete, welcome in, buddy.
We got all
Yeah,
the
I mean,
movers and shakers in here now.
see, and I would have loved to have seen Maelstrom, but no, they had to put Frozen in before I could get in there.
It had this fun thing everybody remembers about a three-headed troll that was part of the ride. And the troll would say, "Oh, I'm putting a curse on you. Be gone." I can't remember the exact words, but you would see sparkles, and then he would spin around.
Well, it must have. Boy, it must have put one on me even before not even getting to ride it because I still have to deal with Mike and Richard. What do you? Well,
Nah,
I must have ended
I'm
up
not
getting
calling
that
them
there
trolls.
somehow.
These are real trolls, not internet trolls.
They are. They're just on the other side of the internet.
But they're not three-headed trolls. So there you go. But yeah, they were good memories.
You might have a slight point there.
But man, I remember when they did the Frozen reskin. I think that was the longest line in Disney history to that date. I think that was 3 hours or something, 4 hours or something when it first opened. It's crazy.
What, for Frozen?
For Frozen, yeah.
It's still 3 or 4 hours long. Good gravy, man. The one time I've only rode it I've rode it a couple of times, and one I got lucky because the line was short. I guess we must have just caught it on the right day or the right time at the moment. But hell, I can remember going all the way around like this, curving around Germany, curving around China, curving around. I mean, you're going through parts of China to get to there, and you're going through here, and you're like, oh my Lord, just to get into one blooming ride. And the only thing about that, the good thing about that is I love the part where you turn around and go backwards. And either way, I still got wet.
Yep.
I don't know how, but I'm the one that always got wet on those rides going backwards. That's like the only ride I can ever remember. And you're talking about rides, and this is just for fun. The only ride that I can remember that I never got wet on was, and here's the crazy thing, I would always get wet when I've done the Frozen ride, but anytime I would do Splash Mountain, I would always be near the front of the thing. I would just duck and splash, water would go right over. I would duck and go right over me, get the people right behind me. I'm like, see, I told you to duck.
So you had the right strategy.
Exactly.
Well, on the sign it says you may get wet. It doesn't say you will get wet. So there you go.
Well, if you want to get wet, go stand on that bridge because I guarantee you. I mean, I don't know about now, but when you're standing on that bridge in front of what's now Tiana Bayou, you were going to get wet standing on that bridge. Yeah. Especially if you were on this side of the bridge, looking at what was Splash Mountain then.
Have you ever been on the Jurassic Park ride at Universal?
No, I have not.
It's basically one giant boat drop. That's the gist. There's some stuff before and after it, but the gist of the ride is a giant drop.
I kind of try to avoid the Velociraptors. I don't feel like being a walking buffet.
Fair enough. But
if anybody's going to be eating a walking buffet, it'll be me eating a walking buffet, particularly on cruise lines.
But if you've been on that ride, it makes you uncomfortably wet. It's so wet. I mean, it feels like a blast of water.
I will tell you this. You want to talk about another ride that you will get wet on. Everybody does. I don't know why. I don't know if people don't like it or what it is. It's the one at Animal Kingdom. I love that ride.
The circular boat ride?
The Quali River Rapids.
Yeah.
Quali River Rapids.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you're going to at least get partially wet, at least from the legs down.
You never know.
The only way you're going to get totally drenched is if your boat hits the falls that come down on you. And let's see, I think I've ridden that about 4 times, and every time my pants would get a little wet, but everybody else would get drenched because their side would hit the falls. And I'm like, y'all just aren't picking the right seats. I don't know what you're all doing, but
nice. It's interesting that you have positive feelings about it. Most of my friends can't stand that ride, and it's
I love it.
interesting to think about why.
See that? Now, see, I like that ride.
Yeah, it's fun, and it all depends where you sit. You never know, if you're gonna escape dry or wet as a dog.
Yeah, exactly. And you're talking about the lines for Frozen. Yeah, that's about it. I had to go in and through China to get to Frozen. It was that long of a line.
You had to go all the way through China. It's funny how you mention it that way. How many
I
countries?
always said somebody was going to dig to China one of these days.
Yeah. That's right. But that's the problem with Frozen is the combination of a popular IP like Frozen and an extremely slow loading ride. That boat fits, gosh, 10, 15 people. And
Yeah,
it takes off every half minute.
it does not hold
It's
as
a
many.
terrible combination. You've got to
Which
be able
kind
to
of killed me
combine.
because that's the same thing with Tiana. You only get what is it? One you get well, maybe you get two. What do you get? Two per row, I think, maybe on Tiana's. So you get maybe
Well,
two, four,
Florida
six,
does.
eight.
In Disneyland, we don't even have that. It's just people lined up in one single file row on the boat.
Oh, for that one?
In Disneyland, yeah. It's a
Really?
single line. So it's even
Wow.
worse in Disneyland.
Now unless they've changed it, I think the one at least for Splash Mountain you got
Yeah,
two
in
per
Florida,
row.
it's 2 by 2. You're sitting two people.
Right. So you get a total of 8 per boat.
Yeah. Yeah. But what I was getting at is that when you combine a really popular IP with a really slow reloading ride, you're going to have problems.
And you got a problem all the way back to China.
Yeah, that's right. All the way
Daddy, just bring me my sushi roll here. I'll be right here in the line, right here. Thank you.
And it touches on another topic too. Walt, when he created Disneyland, he had A tickets, B tickets, C tickets. You remember the tickets idea? Have you the
I remember
e-tickets?
hearing about them. I've never seen them because
Yeah.
again,
So
that was
they were slightly before my time too. But the issue is not every ride was what we called an e-ticket ride. An e-ticket was the absolute
right.
height of excitement and whatnot. Walt didn't populate the whole park with e-tickets. He put a sprinkling of every letter from A to E so that every age group and every demographic could have fun. Now all we're seeing are straight e-tickets, which is great for us who love e-tickets. But where does that leave the other folks like Sweet Debbie, who mentioned in chat? Gosh, I can't go on all these roller coasters. What's left for me to do? And that's another thing we've lost.
Yeah, you're losing the simple stuff.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with the simple stuff. As long
No,
as you do it right.
you need the simple stuff to remember the simple days.
Yes, but you also need it to contrast with the e-tickets. You need some slow rides to be able to feel the intensity of the fast rides. And when everything's a fast ride, anyway, we're getting into.
That's why you got that. But now that's why you got. And I love the way I put it. What was it the other night when we were talking about it? And Mike was in here, and he goes, "We were talking about the Carousel of Progress, and some of us go, And I said, "Here's my thing about Carousel of Progress. It is a fun ride to ride, plus it's a nap zone."
True.
Because I will tell them. There's times where I actually like to ride around and listen to the music
Sure. Yeah,
and watch the show. Other times it's get me in the thing and go 20-minute work, a 20-minute nap in nice air conditioned area.
I'm going to throw out something here. The reason why you nap on that ride is that the park is flooded with e-ticket rides, so you're mentally overstimulated with all the other stuff in the park. So that when you sit in a ride like Carousel, which back when it opened, no one would sleep in that ride. Everybody would be fascinated with it.
Now you would. Now you do.
But now you do because you're overstimulated by the rest of the park.
Exactly. Exactly. That or you go on one of Jen's favorite rides and you just end up going.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Jen.
Your face. what were you doing there?
No, I mean, and that's why I don't do those rides all the time. Well, no, I'll stand corrected. I do go on Carousel Progress. I don't do Small World too
Oh,
often.
Small World. Okay,
But
that's yes.
yeah, small.
I
Yeah, that's
understand it's
Dan loves It's a Small World.
I understand why it's an acquired taste for some people. I get it.
Now, I mean, and it'd probably be different if they could upgrade it like they do. I mean, let's face it, Disneyland's they get all the good stuff. I mean,
Ah,
what they got for Small World is just incredible. What we get for Small World, it's nice, it's quaint, but you ride it a couple of times and
yeah, I get it. Well, I mean, just look at the facade. The
so
facade
then
is
so
so much
then all you
different.
want to do is go sit up in that restaurant and let's see what was it that somebody said at one time they allowed you to pelt people with the biscuits. They
Oh,
need to
because
bring
there
that
was no
back.
glass.
They need to bring that back and let people start pelting people with biscuits again. Free food. Then I go on it all the time. Throw me a biscuits. I'm ready. Give me something to eat while I'm on.
I'm not. I'm going to stand my ground and say no, no comment on that one. But I understand why they put glass on the windows there now. Yeah, you don't need French fries being thrown at people, poor people on Small World.
All right. Have a good night,
Night,
Molly.
Miss Ken.
I hope you're doing okay.
Yeah,
And if we don't see you over the weekend, have a good Easter.
darn tootin'. But yeah,
And,
I
and
forgot that there were drawing people.
make sure you guys come visit me over at St. Augustine on my stream. I'll give you some history lessons. I'll
Speaking
make
of
sure
Dave,
I'll learn y'all some history.
speaking of Dave, you have some big shows coming up, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Why
I
don't you
do
talk to us
have
a little
my
about that?
Sunday. I'm streaming from. I'm going to be doing both my channels will be streaming to St. Augustine all through night long. I'm trying to determine if I might do a ghost stream.
Ooh, that's exciting.
I might. I don't. It depends on how tired I get, and because I'll still have like an hour and a half drive back to the house. So plus the once I get to Lake City, then I'll have another 30-minute drive back to just get to where I'm staying now.
Yeah,
Um, so that, but I'll be streaming that. And then, guys, don't forget Monday night, please make sure you're here. Yeehaw, Bob. I'd like to see y'all come in at 6 p.m. with Yeehaw Bob. It will be a great time. He is, again, I talked to him today by email, and he has definitely confirmed 6 p.m. that he is doing it. Um, so he will be here at 6 p.m. live. We will have a great time with that. So yeah, we got some good stuff coming over the weekend.
that's fantastic. I'm so happy for you, Dave. I'll be there with bells on.
And I'm looking for that one because that's one of the big that's going to be one of my biggest interviews that I've had yet for this channel. And again, I have to say, I give the credit to Pete, who I've learned a lot off of his interviews and talking with. I love that's why I love Pete to death. He's watching him and Molly do their interviews and talking with them. And, my interviews have gotten a lot better over the years. When I first started doing interviews on Saturday nights on my cafe chat, and I had
Mm-hmm.
some good people then. I mean, I brought in, I had VP come in one night, and, I had Kelly back when she was the Mickey Bunch back then.
Mm-hmm.
I think I gotta reach out to her. He was missing our Friday night. You're welcome, Pete. And that comes from the bottom of my heart, buddy. I mean, you when and you didn't. I'm going to tell you this. You are one of the biggest ones that had the biggest. Besides Jesse, you have stuck with me through thick and thin. You have backed me up. You've talked to me when I've been down. You have helped me when I've had questions. I can't say enough about, and again, like I said, I'm hoping I still want to get with you and Preston and do lunch and when you guys get down here one of these days, because I know what it meant to be a son and a father, and you guys, I respect Preston very much for what he has done for you, Pete, and you raised some good kids, and
Mm-hmm.
I can't say enough. We can't, and I guarantee you, this whole community is feeling what I'm saying, what you have done. I mean, this is personally for me, though. You've helped me in a lot of things and all that. And here's the thing: this gentleman right there was my first interview, and that interview was quite good. And even though he was still charting his course on his and Preston's channel. He sat down and gave me the time of day to help me. He did the thing, and I can't say enough about the gentleman. And I look forward to seeing him in Baltimore in August. Or unless I get to see you, maybe I might be able to catch up with you in June. I don't know when you come back down here. I don't know what kind of time you got. I don't know what time frame you guys got when you come back down here, but definitely looking forward to seeing you in Baltimore.
Very well said, Dave. I agree with all of that. And I don't think people understand or appreciate just how difficult it is to give a good interview. It's a very, very, very thin line. You could go one way, too talkative. You could go one way too quiet. It's very hard to nail that sweet spot, and Pete does it extremely well.
Well, and Pete does it extremely well. Um, and here's the thing about it. And there's and the one thing that I've learned over the years that I have done the interviews that I have done is that there's times where you can be a little bit more relaxed. Like
Mhm.
obviously, John, when you first did when you did, I was actually kind of scared because listening to you on Pete and listening to your background. And I mean, I knew you in the chat, and
Yeah.
we would say hi in the chats, but I've gotten to, I've consider you a close friend now because you've done so many things like that. And we got to meet we got to talk a little bit in December when on Boardwalk, and I look, like I said, when you come down here, I would love to get and just go hang out. Yeah. Bring a
Yeah.
stream. We'll do streams on one of the channels
We'll get a
and,
drink
and
or
just go
something.
hang out and
Hang
have
out.
fun because
Yeah.
I can listen to your stories all day long, but when I actually, I was scared on the night that you did the interview with me, which I thought turned out very well. We had I thought I asked a few good questions. I think Mike was with us that night, and he asked some good questions.
Yeah, it was fun.
And then chat through in some good questions. And that night, we just had fun, and we ended up going 2-3 hours that night, I think.
Yeah. It just went really well. You guys did a great job. Again, I'm just here to convey stories that I've heard from other people, and I have a few of my own too, but I'm honored by what you say, Dave. You're a fine interviewer yourself, and nothing to knock your way. You're doing great.
I
I
do.
look
I do
forward to
okay.
Monday.
I do okay. I mean, and I can't compare myself to anybody else. We're all different, I
Sure,
mean,
sure.
but I
But it's
know
smart sometimes.
I've got room for me to work on things when it comes to doing an interview. But to
Interviewing
be
is
able to
hard.
be able to, my goal is to be able to kind of do what Pete does. Since I
Mhm.
cannot get to the parks all the time, it would be nice to be able to reach out to. And that's why I reach out to some of the people in the community and
Mhm.
bring them out. And yes, I get to be a little bit more relaxed unless it's someone like, again, you got that back because of your background. It was more of, we wanted to be kind of relaxed, but
Yeah,
kind of formal.
yeah.
Now with Yeehaw Bob,
You don't know what you're gonna get.
it may start out formal, but knowing Yeehaw Bob, it may become so relaxed. I don't know where it's going to go.
And that's okay.
Um,
There's nothing wrong with that.
no,
That's
and it
great.
isn't, but that's because of his personality.
Yeah.
and you feed off of that. One thing, and Pete, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you're still in here listening, but you learn when you do all these interviews, you learn to feed off of the interviewee. And if he's if they're being more formal, then you're going to stay within that formal format. But if they're getting where they're relaxed and they're you and I'm not saying totally relaxed where it goes kaput and it falls apart, but you learn to feed off of the interviewee and you relax a little bit more and on how you question. Now with Yeehaw Bob, I don't know, I'm not counting on him doing anything music or show wise, but I don't know what he's going to bring. He might. We may end up having. He may do a couple of musical things on Monday night. I have no idea. I
That's
have
part of
no
the fun.
idea.
That's part of the fun. You don't know what you're going to get.
No, I mean I know what I want to ask him. I've got questions written out, and I've got to go back over those questions, and I may send some to Pete and have him look over it.
But I'll tell you, being privileged enough to be behind the curtain a few times for some of Pete's shows, the amount of work and preparation they put into these things is just nothing short of mind blowing. So
what Pete puts into his shows, it's beyond. He should be working. He should be running ABC or one of those things. And as far as sportscasting, he needs to take over. They need to fire all the sportscasters for ESPN and let Pete do it because he does such a great job.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to, I'll be sorry when the Tigers beat the Orioles when they play him on the 27th. Sorry, Pete. It'll be a shame when the Tigers beat the Orioles.
Hey,
just saying, buddy. Love you with all my heart, buddy. But Tigers are gonna win. I'm actually kind of shocked at how good they actually had the second best. If I looked at the records right now, they actually have. They're pretty close to the second best record in Major League right now, and I'm shocked because a day or two ago the Guardians had actually took over first place in that division, but now the Tigers are ahead of. Sorry, Molly. I'm glad Molly's not here. Have I been drinking? No, I'm just. Hey, I'm just telling you, Pete. Tigers are gonna. Hey, I'll tell you what. I will make a similar bet with you when it comes to the Tigers and the Orioles. Because I do love the Orioles, so I'll be glad to wear anything orange and black to represent the Orioles if they win.
If they win.
They won't, but if. Hey, I'm looking. I've been watching the Tigers. They've been playing.
Well, I was hoping to see you.
They actually been doing pretty darn good this season. I'm actually quite surprised.
I'm not sure I'll see you in Maryland after these comments, Dave. Better be careful. But yeah, hats off to you, Pete, if you're still here. The amount of prep that goes into it. They say measure twice, cut once. You do it the best.
Listen, this guy he's always overhauling his shows. I mean, if it doesn't work once, then he changes it up and he's just quite good. And he's so flexible that sometimes when things go one way, he just knows how to fix it right then and there. And
well, you have to. I mean, nothing's ever going to go 100% to plan. No, they're always going to be.
Pete's just good that way. And I mean, I love watching this show. I mean, he knows how to have fun. He knows how to keep it in line.
Yeah, I mean, you could put your heart and soul into something and kick it off, and something else may happen over here while you're doing it, and who cares? As long as people enjoy what you're presenting.
Well,
As long as people
that's
are
what my shows have become known for. I mean, we
Mhm.
start on one thing and we end up on so many different tracks.
Eh,
Man, you're liable to end out in outer Sumblogia of Saskatchewan, Alaska.
well, actually, that's a good topic. I was talking with Jen a little bit about this. Some shows are very structural, where they are trying to present a particular piece of content. Mine will probably be along those lines. And some are more freewheeling, when you're just chatting and having
Which
fun.
and
There's nothing wrong with either of them.
well, and here's the thing: if you look at some of my shows,
Hmm.
they are, and I go both ways.
Sure.
You notice my Fridays and Saturday shows, they're all over the place.
Yeah,
Again, but again, I appreciate what Pete has taught me because what he has taught me, I've learned to grow and expand on my own, and I've learned to, you know what? It's okay sometimes to be a little bit relaxed and let it go.
of course.
I mean, obviously, you don't want to let it go out of control too far because we have had some shows where it's gotten a little heated on things, and
Yeah.
that does happen from time to time. So, and that's when I try to reel it in. But I've
Human
learned
nature.
that you just think. But now, if you look at my travel shows, some nights they're relaxed.
Hmm.
Some nights you'll see that I'm more like, look, this is the way the shows are going, and I'm keeping it on track
Yeah.
because I'm more focused on my client or would be client than having people come on and just be going to the left all over
Right.
the place. No, there's some shows, like Thursday night, we had fun, but we stayed on topic and we talked about the Disney treasure. Now, towards the end, did it go a little bit off rail? Yeah, but I got accomplished what I wanted, which was
Hmm.
to hear, it was to hear the stories from Jill and Mike on the Disney treasure. We got through all that, and we just had a little bit of fun, and we ended up going an hour and a half
That's
that
great.
night.
That's great.
Actually,
Nothing
no, I
wrong
think
with
we
it at
almost
all.
went 2 hours that night.
Yeah. As long as you're having fun doing what you're doing and you're reaching your goals and the community is entertained, you can't ask for anything better.
Nope. And that's it to me, Pete said it once. It's about the quality. And sometimes I forget about that. But then I'm glad I get to go back and watch Pete's shows. And it's, again, I have tremendous respect for, with everything that guy's been through, he's still humble. And I look at myself and I'm like, you know what? Sometimes you're an idiot.
Join the
And I'll
club.
admit it. And I act like an
Same.
idiot sometimes. And sometimes I sound like an idiot. But then, bottom line is, it makes me try to humble myself again. And it's about having fun and making sure it's all quality over quantity.
Hmm. Yes, I get what you're saying. And don't underestimate yourself. You're doing a fantastic job here. No question about that.
And like I said, it's you talk about you appreciate me pushing you out. Again, that's something again I think that I'm thankful that I've learned from Pete, and I
Hmm.
tried to expand on that. Him, and Josh from Resort TV1 were the first two I actually fully talked to that has helped me when I first was starting this channel. I didn't know where it was going to go. I was
Sure.
going to give up after a few months. Then Jesse came on the scene, and we started growing a little bit, and we did a good job. And that's when I first started doing the Give the Kids a World.
Hmm.
Speaking of which, I need to talk to you about that, Pete. In the next, I'm going to get with you in the next couple of months on that. But there was that. But then I started growing slowly and slowly and slow, and I'm still growing slowly today. But to me, it's about just having fun, hanging out with the Disney community that I love.
The
Getting to
sweet.
bringing friends like you on.
Oh,
And
you're very
just,
kind. I'm very grateful to be part of this
and
group. I'm glad Pete's here,
and
Jen's
and
here,
when
and
I'm able to push out, like you're getting ready to become a content creator, I know where I was, and I know what some of these people that like Kelly, he helped push out my channel. He he still helps push out my channel. You know, that has set a precedent for me. Now I'm trying to set a precedent so that I can help push other people out, not only can try to help them grow, because honestly, my numbers are starting to get staggered where they're actually keeping it around just short of 100 on the 100 count views, which, not in, views wise, no, it depends on what we're doing, stream wise, but
Sure, sure. But
but
I'll
the
tell
numbers
you,
are but the numbers are being more consistent of being at 100 views within a couple of days or so. And that don't matter to me. It's about the quality
yes.
and the quantity and the people I bring on and the people that I love seeing in the chat and just
Mhm.
it's about having the fun and and especially if they're content creators like, you got Paul, you got Dean, and you've heard it, John. You've heard me push them out. I try to push out multiple Pete's channels. Um, obviously, I've been trying to push out your channel, and I will do so continuously. Do so. I push out Kelly's new channel, or well, her rebranding, like I am, and that's what it's about. It's
Yeah.
helping others that have helped me.
Mhm. It's like paying it forward. Makes perfect sense. And I'll tell you, someone very wise told me, anything you do, you're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs. It's inevitable. But pay no attention to that. As long as the overall trend is going up, that's what you want to care about. It doesn't matter if you're going up or down in the day to day. Who cares? Don't sweat the small stuff, as they say. Just focus on the trend. And as long as you're
Exactly.
having fun, the trend will go up.
Exactly. I mean, I mean, maybe John or maybe Pete can attest to this, but I know for a fact that some of my shows are there's some shows that go off the chart, fun, overblaze. Then there's the others that
Barely registers. Yeah, I get it.
it's got that lifeline of your heart ain't beating, it's dead for that show, and it ain't gonna matter what you do, it's dead.
Hmm.
And I've had those kind of shows. But
Sure.
again, it's that up and down. So not all your shows are going to be,
Yeah.
your shows are going to be up and down, hit and miss. But again, it's about being who you are,
Yep.
doing what you love. You know, yeah, you do get a little bit conscious of the numbers to make sure because if your
Sure.
numbers are going
Natural.
constantly going down, then you start wondering about what are
Sure.
you doing, and and that's kind of what was going on when I refurbed this channel. But since I refurbed it, it's been on a slow, steady climb, and we're
Good.
going to continue to do this. Unfortunately, I'm also at a disadvantage because I'm not in my own home right now,
Yeah, I understand.
and then my laptop decided to get the death screen of my death. When your laptop gets the death screen of or the green
The blue
screen
screen.
of
Blue
death,
screen. Yes.
as they call it. Now I'm working. All I got left to work with is my phones, and so I'm using what I got.
I
I'm
hear you.
making it work,
I
and
hear
we've
you.
still managed to turn out some good shows,
Yeah, that's the important thing.
and that's about what it's about.
Yep. As long as you have fun and as long as you believe in what you're doing, you'll do just fine.
Exactly, and you see that, and I can guarantee you, you can see that on Chris's show. You can see it on a lot of people's shows. I know you see it on Pete's Friday night shows because it's heaven help. You see it on Zippity Doo Dug's show, and he's another one that who's been trying to help push me out. So and it's and I put. like Pete said, you push them out because they are such good people and they're good content creators, and you just want to help them. And again, you can't help but laugh. And I mean, eh, like that plush, the that new Doug plush.
Yeah.
I bet you that'll go over a hit in the stores.
Well, I don't know if you caught it tonight, but Jennifer Caruso asked a very, very poignant question. And she said, what do you think Walt would have thought about all this stuff that we're doing here at YouTube? It's a very interesting question. Everybody should sit back and think about it a little bit. I personally think he would have been tickled pink, seeing hundreds, if not thousands, of people congregate talking about something he created to bring joy to
Well,
people. I think he'd be thrilled.
I agree. And if I can add on to that, I would think that you think about what he did. He created Disneyland for the families. He created them for the parents and the kids, and that's what we're doing here. We're and that's why most of us, I can guarantee you, most of everybody's adults. Most of the videos are marked not for kids, but that's because we have to follow the guidelines.
Sure.
But you'll find out that yeah, they're depending on the shows and depending on the time of night, it can get a little pushy to the edge.
I get it.
We maintain a high. Most of us maintain a high standard of that this is about the family. You're going to get kids
Correct.
watching these things, and you want the kids to have fun. You want them to learn about Disney. You want to learn. They may be learning about the history of Disney for the first time, which a lot of us talk about. I know. It's the thing, and that's one good thing. Like I said, I go back to Pete's show because a lot of what I've learned comes from him. Besides the other streamers that I've learned off of, like Josh and
Sure.
Corey and Kelly, and just a lot of good influence. And I can only do so much from the house, obviously, but you see that most of my shows, particularly on my travel shows, now my Disney life we keep clean for the most part. That we do keep clean because that's earlier in the evening. Now my Fridays and Saturdays, I'm good. It's late at night. Most of the kids are in bed. Let it fly.
Sure.
Let it fly. Let it fly.
Let it go.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it. Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the kind of community. If this were another fan group, some other subject matter, I think the amount of trolls and the amount of troublemaker and the number of drama makers out there would be exponentially higher. This community has its issues too. Every community does, but on average, this is one of the better communities I've been a part of.
Yeah, I mean, and I honestly, and I don't know if it's been YouTube or what's been going on, but I haven't. I mean, I know Pete gets. I know he does get. Pete, is it just me or have the bot slowed down a little bit? Because I know I have not. Of course, I haven't had anything big to really get noticed by the bots, but I know Pete does, and I know his sports channel gets hit by the bots so often. But again, it also depends on what the algorithm is doing for YouTube and what kind of push out people get. Because I mean, I've seen it where I might be one of the last few people thing, and it's weird to see me on the notification things going, this one's still alive.
Yeah, all the bots are still in there.
And I still don't, because here's the thing, even when I was a smaller channel, I got hit by bots more when I was a smaller channel than I do now, where I'm that small medium channel trying to reach to that first 1,000 plateau.
Sure.
But
well, it's a sign of success, I suppose.
And it is. And again, it's I'm just thankful to be surrounded by a lot of good friends and a lot of, you know, again, I can't say enough about Pete and what he's done for me and what him and his family mean to him. I mean, shoot, when I got to meet him the first time at Magic Kingdom, and that's when I actually met Jeff and Angela for the first time. First time I actually saw Dad builds
Mm-hmm.
the first time, because that was the day that I was doing my first Give the Kids the World thing.
Ah, okay.
So I was actually kind of streaming that day that I met them on, and this would have been in November, about 3 or 4 years ago. This would have been probably 2022. No, 2021, I think, maybe.
Got it.
Um,
Right in the heart of the dark time, as we call it, those days.
yeah, because I actually, 20. Wait a minute, we just hit the 4 year mark. So yeah, let's see, yeah, because I talked to Pete at the end of December of 2020, and my channel kicked off in December of 2020. Yeah, so somewhere in there. I mean, but it's, again, the people that are in this community, such as Tina, as I've gotten to know Tina, and I look forward to meeting some of these people face to face that I have
Mm-hmm.
not gotten to meet face to face. Like now I've met Debbie, I met you, I met Neil. I've gotten to meet Steve in the parks that one time. And it's all good. I mean, it's just getting to meet Kate Uda Lolly Lane, and a lot of these other ones that it's Jennifer Crusoe and Ron, you know back in December, and I'm looking forward to seeing them in Baltimore.
Yep.
So it'll be it's we've got a special. There's something about this community that is so special. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
That's very kind of you, Dave. I agree. Well said. And I'm afraid that I kept you up about an hour and 10 minutes beyond
No,
what
I get to
you
sleep
said.
in the morning. I have nothing. I got everything I needed to do, because if I get up early in the morning, then I'm going to have to start doing some training courses, and I don't
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
get it.
and I think I've told you that I had to. My hosting agency, they transferred. I think you've heard me say it on streams that my travel agency, my hosting agency, they changed the whole portal entrance for us TAs. So when they transferred it over, yeah, they transferred my 2 clients over, and that was about it. My profile got wiped out. My W-9s got wiped
Oh,
out.
yeah.
I mean, I physically had to spend. I had to physically. I had to go back and get a W-9 filled out again. So I
Mhm.
physically spent a few hours today filling out the profile, filling out this, filling out that, filling out this.
Mhm. I
Now
hear
I
you.
got that all. Now I got to go back and redo all the training courses to catch up on everything that they changed.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
Electric boogaloo, people. Electric boogaloo.
I
Okay,
get it.
there's our shenanigan for the night. Good thing there's only 4
There's your
people in here, so not too many people got to see it.
there's your clip for the night. We'll turn that into a short.
No, 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 no. Hopefully Pete's not watching that, so he ain't.
Can you imagine? Uh, yeah.
Yes,
So I
yeah.
got.
He bet. What's Pete? You can forget about that little clip. You don't need to use it.
I think you've just sealed it by saying that. But anyway,
It,
I
it
gotta
would
go.
have
I
to be
gotta go hit the
something.
hay.
It would have to be something standing out for it to make one of Pete's clips. So that was just the electric boogaloo galoo galoo. That might have made it on the. That might have made it on the chart within the top 1 million, maybe
Maybe,
somewhere. But
maybe somewhere in there. We'll just have to up our game a little bit, Dave. Okay, I
Well,
gotta run.
so far I've been lucky and not to end up on any of Pete's clips. Thank goodness. So
No,
I think people have tried to send him clips of things, crazy things that
no,
I
it's got
have.
to be organic. It's got to be organic. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Yeah.
Well, I could show you some things that were organic, but
Nah, I hear you. So hey,
oh
Easter
no,
weekend, I gotta run.
that would be like that one night we were talking about though when like when I had how we got the name and then the thing underneath it. That could have ended up somewhere real quick because it said Disney Creams instead of Disney Dreams.
Yeah, well, one little mistake.
Heaven forbid if Pete. I'm hoping Pete didn't hear that one.
Ah,
That one actually probably would have made the clip, but it has to be more funny. And we would have to say I'd have to come out with something saying it really funny. And who knows? It may pop up again somewhere down the line.
yeah. All right, I
But
gotta run.
I can guarantee you that guy right now, which he works so hard. I bet he's working on his shows right now
Hmm. Or at least
and still watching this stream.
well, Dave, I gotta run. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yep. Well, thank you for
I
coming
appreciate
on.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's yeah. I'm gonna
we'll do
probably
it
go
again.
watch the movie. I'm still not tired. I don't know why. You'd think after doing an earlier stream in the evening and now doing this stream, you'd think I would be freaking tired and ready to go to sleep. You
Sometimes
know,
it's the adrenaline it's probably the adrenaline in your body
it
keeping
is.
you.
Well, part of it is that I finally got it's the fact that I got my TA portal straightened out. Now I got my profile straightened out. Now I got to sit here, and I don't want to have to sit here and go through all those training courses tomorrow, but I know I will. So that's my plan tomorrow is nothing but all travel agency stuff.
I hear you. Well, we'll keep you in our thoughts and prayers. How about that?
But don't forget it, guys. Sunday afternoon, I will be at St. Augustine, and we will have a good time.
Good deal. And Monday.
Yes, and then Monday at 6 p.m. again, for those that might catch the replay, Monday at 6 p.m. If you don't know this gentleman, his name is Yeehaw Bob Jackson. He is quite funny. He's at the Rooster Lounge at Port Orleans, Riverside. He is hilarious. It'll be a great interview. I just got a good feeling that it'll be a great interview, and I'm telling you, I don't know what he's bringing. Yeah, he may do some music. I don't know. It might. We might just end up interviewing talk. I don't know.
You never know what you're going to get. That's the exciting aspect of it.
But that guy, I mean, I'm hoping that he might do one or two kind of things to entertain a little bit. But doesn't necessarily mean he has to. I'm
Just
not
being there will
expecting.
be
I'm
entertaining
not
enough.
expecting it,
Yeah.
but I am going to be open to it. That if he wants to, I'm going to step back and let him go at it.
There you go. Got to give people the rope.
Yep.
You know.
Because normally I've learned one thing: give people enough rope, because the good people will make it work.
Yeah. Well, you got,
I
it's
get
like
enough
fishing.
rope and I end up hanging my. See, that's the problem. I give myself enough rope and I hang it. I hang
Yeah.
myself with it. Any other else, they make it work and it turns out good.
There you go. That's the key. Okay, buddy. I'm going to take
All
off.
right,
Thanks
guys.
for everything.
With that, thank you all for being here. Pete, thank you for coming in, buddy. And I know Molly's gone to bed. Have a good night. Tamale's sleeping, and Debbie, I know she was getting a headache. Jordan, Neil, thank you all for being in here, guys. I don't know who's left watching. Guarantee you, Jason and Gloria Thibodeau is probably still watching. They're just probably silently. But guys, thank you for being here. And I'm going to say what I always say. First of all, I do like what Doug says, and Tina, and a lot of people. You know, when you're talking with people, just reach out to them and just say hi, because you never know when their days may be bad, they may be down, or maybe they just need some uplifting spirit and saying hi to them, or maybe just listening to them, or maybe giving them a good laugh may change their whole perspective on what's going on with them. It can make a better day for them. So just be yourself, treat people with respect and honor, and be humans. But with that, then I'm going to finally say, um, before we leave, again, check this man's channel out. If you haven't signed up for him, please do. I'm telling you, I saw his intro. His intro looks good. He's
Thank you, sir.
looking to his
Now I got to bring the
show they're
content.
going to kick out at the beginning of May is his target. We
Yep.
hope, if everything goes right, you guys will enjoy this guy. You've heard his stories. This guy's got a lot of good insight,
Thank
and
you,
I
Dave.
look forward to hearing them. So go check him out. And with that, I'm going to say what I always say, guys. From the world of Disney Magical Theme Park, may you wish upon a star and your dreams come true. Have a great night, guys. Bye.
Good night, Dave. Bye
Bye.
bye.